Alright, hello Riven mains and Yasuo mains alike. I am the Nightwing, Way of Life Esports, coming at you guys with another League of Legends video. So today we have the infamous Group of Death obviously taking place, and it was a doozy actually. So the very first game was up against Fnatic versus Clutch, and when the game first started, you actually thought Clutch had a chance to beat Fnatic. Obviously, they had a chance to beat Fnatic when they obviously faced them the last time, but a few early game blunders and a lot of macro mistakes during the mid game really did cost them the game, and they ended up losing. And arguably so, the same thing happened this game. It was actually deja vu how many mistakes Clutch made against Fnatic, even when they were winning the game. And then after that, Demonte and Lyra try backdooring, and then it just doesn't work. And then Fnatic finally get their momentum back after going 1-2 last week. They get their momentum back. You can just see it on their faces. They're like, God dang, we actually won. Holy crap, we can do this. Right after that, later on during the day, you have crazy matches. Right after that, you have, I'm pretty sure it was RNG versus SKT. Even that game was insane. Man, it just feels so bad that RNG played so well in the group stage, and they only had, I think their worst performance was their last one during the day because of just how badly they drafted. The last game, oh my god, was horrible. Oh man, you can tell the tilt started to settle into the team right when they figured out that, hey, I don't think we can actually do this anymore. That was probably the thing they were playing in their minds, and they could have still did it. They were still very, very strong, but overall, Fnatic and SKT passed the Group of Death. Fnatic needed to go 3-0 in order to get out of the group, obviously, and that's what exactly happened. And today also marks history, is that 3 European teams make it out of groups on European soil, and Clutch Gaming, aka Dignitas, who would have thought, become the first NA team to go winless in groups. Yes, averagely, the lowest amount for a team to get a win at Worlds is 1, but they got 0. Now, I know that's not going to be indicative of what their score is going to be, because of how strong their group actually was. Since their group was incredibly strong, people will probably understand it really wasn't their fault. That's like saying, well, Jenner went 0-18 in LCK. Well, yeah, they went 0-18 in, well, the LCK. So, yes, I know people are going to rag on NA about going 0-6 in their group, but you got to look at some of those Clutch games, man. They were really close in some of their games against RNG and Fnatic. Had they just had a little bit more discipline, made a little bit more better mid-game mistakes, they're still technically, you know, a young team. This team was built, you know, obviously during the course of this year. So you still have to kind of factor in they're going to make these mistakes. You have these players making their Worlds debut and, you know, their very first year of playing. Huni's been here several different amounts of times, obviously, and this is just how things are for certain new teams that go. And the same thing happens with new teams with very, very strong players. And I always say this, is that, you know, just because you're really strong doesn't mean you're going to do well at Worlds, because of how the nature of Worlds is. Obviously, SKT and Fnatic play. Fnatic have to win this game, because that will force a tiebreaker scenario if it gets to that point, if Clutch were to win against RNG later on. Obviously, Fnatic pull out the Veigar mid, Nemesis playing that Veigar, and they actually beat SKT. SKT made a mid-game blunder, and it was looking grim for Fnatic, but thanks to that mistake, Fnatic were able to capitalize on that, and then they were able to finally beat SKT. Fnatic finally taking their revenge against SKT. It has been so long since SKT and Fnatic have played against each other, and it feels so good to have Fnatic finally get their little revenge against SKT. And it's actually very rare SKT, like I said, loses best of ones in Worlds. MSI is weird for them, because this past MSI that took place a few months ago was the only group stage where they ever really actually struggled. You know, most Worlds, they literally at most lose 1 game, and that's crazy. Is that the most losses they've ever accumulated over a Worlds is 1. Their lowest is 0, because they were one of the few orgs to go perfect in groups. And then later on, you have RNG taking on, Fnatic. Later on during the day, Fnatic win and pass the group of death, beating Clutch, SKT, and RNG. And this will prove you shouldn't ever count out a good Western team, because they will advert and come over a bunch of hurdles to get to what they need to. The same thing goes with Korean and Chinese teams, but Fnatic, as we know and love them as hashtag always Fnatic, made it past the group of death. Now, I know there was this little controversy thing about SKT win trading on stage. That is the saltiest thing I've ever heard in my life. SKT are gonna get, people want to make up the most stupidest excuses as to reason why their team loses, and it happens with Western teams, it happens with Asian teams. Obviously, is that, how about instead of any of that, that's probably not true, and by probably I mean 100% not true. You could have, and I'm just spitballing here. You could have just lost. People said, well, why did they make the mistake? Why is the sky blue? Why did I drop? One day I was walking up the street, and I literally just, I don't know, dropped my phone. Why did I drop my phone? You see how we can hit your stupid question with my own stupid question? Is like, you don't know why. They're not win trading on stage. Like, what the? People make jokes about that because it's a joke. It's not to be taken anything seriously. No, literally, Northscaren did not win trade against JT. He did not do that. I'm literally just joking. Like, people need to understand. It's not me. It's just, people need to understand when a team loses, they just lose. It's not because they threw or they got paid off to throw. That does not exist in League, from what I know. Now, I might be wrong. I know in other professional sports, people accuse teams of that. Realistically, so people are just salty that their team lost. That's just how it works, you know? And it really does feel bad because this is a really, really strong group, and people really did want RNG to advance. Hey, I wanted them to advance too. You know, I'm really, really sad they got to go. They're one of my favorite Chinese organizations for League to watch. They're one of my favorites always to, win the LPL, just given how strong they are. But this time, Reckless technically overpowered Uzi. I mean, technically it was more or less so Hylissang doing a lot of the work with Nemesis and Broxa. But you still to this day, Reckless is 2-9 against RNG, or Uzi in general. So he didn't really conquer Uzi, because conquering kind of means you beat him more than twice. Like, it's like Goku and Vegeta's rivalry in Dragon Ball Z. It's like, is Vegeta really his rival though? Because Goku kind of is way stronger than him. So it's like, I don't like to use narratives like that because they're obviously just not really that true. But overall, yes, SKT and Fnatic passed the group of death. I feel bad for Clutch because Clutch had a hard group, and in their games they really, really did try. It was just like, if you're just outclassed in every single category, it's just like, what you can't do anything. Like, that's just where it's gonna be, so. And that's pretty much it. We have one more final day of group, and TL is the now new hope for North America. For TL, what a day and age we're living in, where TL is now the new hope for North America. Well, if Cloud9 had to pass the torch over this year, just for 1 year, until they ultimately make a comeback and become the world champions of 2020, then obviously it's nice to have another team do that. And some people have asked me, how do you feel about Cloud9 not being the hope for North America this year? It's fine. It's fine. They shouldn't always have to be that anyway. Like, that's theoretically a bad thing in general, because they never really truly have the best players in every position anyway. And then people get mad that they lose. It's like, well, they don't really have the best players in every position anyway, so I don't really expect a lot. I mean, I do expect a lot out of them in certain aspects, but I'm not like some over. What's the word I would properly use for this? I'm not some person that expects so much that it's like they're gonna beat like SKT and stuff like that. It's just not gonna happen. They don't have the caliber of players for that. It's just, people were kind of surprised they didn't make it out of groups this year, and I was too, until I kind of realized the other day, right before I started recording this video, is that like they had a really strong group, man. G2 are arguably gonna win Worlds. Arguably, they're still a really strong team and strong contender to do that. And you have Griffin, who people also thought could win Worlds. So theoretically, and if you want to look at it, they have two teams in their group that are power ranked to win Worlds or at least make top 4. It was very unlikely they even get that far. They did this year. I know the other years it was more probable because there was things that really kind of laid themselves out that where they could get out of the group. But I mean, this year is just obviously not written in the cards. And to be fair, if they've gone out of groups like multiple years and they've only missed like 2, Is it really that big a deal? Honestly, it's not really that big a deal. But in terms of my pick'ems, I got this group exactly right. The only one I've gotten right so far. Hopefully tomorrow, IG get first and Damwon and IG get first and TL get second, because I feel like TL could beat Damwon again. They already have the head-to-head, which is good. That's a good thing to have against them. I feel like whatever TL can do tomorrow against Damwon, what they did the first time around is just exactly how you beat them. Like today when Fnatic faced off against RNG, exactly how you beat them is exactly how you beat Damwon. You attack the bot lane, you beat it, and you win the game. Win lane, win game, baby. That's all it is. It is what it is, as you kids say nowadays. See you guys later. Like, comment, subscribe. Most of all, enjoy. I'm the Nightwing, and Way of Life Esports is signing out. You guys, peace. Tomorrow's the last day of groups, and then I'll give you guys a full head-on podcast for the group stage and how I felt about everything and my thoughts on the group stage and the teams I wanted to win and stuff like that. And you guys will be getting my unfiltered, documented opinions. And I'll see you guys later. Bye. Have a good day. You guys have a great weekend too.
Hi there, guys. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel for more stuff.
Yeah, thank you.